Well, hello friends, neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome to my front porch, and it is another beautiful summer day. I want to talk about a Canadian whiskey, one that I think may have been overlooked a little bit. This is Pike Creek 21, but it's the 2017 release, the one that's finished in Speyside casks. I'm going to get into it, what I'm tasting, and share with you why I think it might just have been overlooked a little bit.
3, 4.
Thanks for staying with me. Actually, I was looking at my recent kind of recycled bottle review and noticed that I kind of thumbed down a lot of Canadians, and I was thinking, okay, I got to find something on the shelf that actually I'd like to say, you should go out and buy this one. So kind of giving away the ending, but this is an interesting Canadian whiskey. I would suggest that the rare release comes out every fall from Wiser's is sort of like Canada's BTAC, right? It is limited release bottles. There's usually a special lot 40, Gooderham and Worts, something unique from JP Wiser, Core Range, and a Pike Creek release. And they've done it, I think, 3 times. We're heading into fall, so there'll be a 4th release, I'm hoping. And it's exciting to wait for, to hunt down, and to see what's going on differently. Pike Creek, they've decided to really, I feel, the team, Dr. Don Livermore, to highlight finishings, so different cask finishes, and with older Canadian whiskey. So this is a 21-year-old Canadian whiskey, mostly corn, a bit of rye, and this one is finished in Speyside single malt cask. I'm pretty sure it spent most of its years in reused whiskey barrels, but it is finished for some time. I think Pernod Ricard is the company that would have sent over some Speyside barrels, and they finished it. It's 45%, did I say that? And mostly corn with some rye. So pretty insane that I can still find this here in the Edmonton. It's in Alberta. And I know, if you want to know, just DM me. I'll tell you where it's at, because it's on the shelf for $60. 21-year-old whiskey for 60 Canadian dollars. What, I don't know, 45 US. What a great value, and it's actually why I picked it up, because I will say I didn't get all of them that year in 2017. That's the 2012, not 2012. That 2017 is the 12-year Lot 40 cask, which remains my favorite Lot 40 cask strength release. But this was a little more expensive. I think at the time it was maybe around $80. Can't remember, and critically, a number of reviewers that I have high respect for didn't give it a lot of top marks. But then you see a 21-year-old on sale, and it's worth picking up. So let's see what I get on the whiskey itself. This nose has some nice light buttery caramel notes. A little bit of spice on the edges there. I'm getting a bit of citrus. Not a sour, but just a sort of a relaxed. I like this nose. I don't think it's going to blow you over, but it's relaxed, sweet, but not syrupy, just cloyingly sweet. Yeah, and maybe not citrus, but really light fruits, very light apple. Now, they're oddly, for old whiskey, I got a little bit of an alcoholic note in the nose. And I've got that before, but not all the time. Generally, it's a fairly welcoming vanilla, caramel, some fruit, and a little bit of spice. But well-rounded, enjoyable nose. See how it tastes. Cheers. I think I said it on the nose, but this is more like a butterscotch, light toffee, Little spicing on the edges of my mouth, not a lot. Oh, there it's coming up again. Must be a little bit of that hug from the rye. Better take another sip. Nice clean palate. Surprisingly light and delicate for a 21-year-old. I expected a little more from all those years in wood, but pleasing. Maybe on the early finish, some of that more fruit that could be coming from Speyside. That's more suggested. If it didn't say Speyside casks on here, I would just say, you know, this is a really nice 21-year-old Canadian whiskey. It's sweet, but not syrupy, not so sweet that it puts me off. And I have to say, lately I've been getting almost that granular brown sugar or maple sugar note in so many Canadians, and that's probably why I thumbed down a few of the bottles that I recently kind of gave my final verdict on. This one keeps it together. Refreshing. Interesting, light, little bit of bitterness in there, but not too bad. I will say that I am not a fan of Pike Creek 10-year-old anymore. Briefly kind of liked it, but I fell out of favor with it when, I don't know, just became really too sweet, too sugary sweet. This is quite different from the 10-year-old. And every year, the rare release, this year we're still talking about the last one, which is a 21-year-old Oloroso. And I'm sure I'll get to share my thoughts on that. Everyone's raving about that bottle. And it's very different than this too. And I like the way Don Livermore and his team have decided to really work on showcase finishing. So this is very different from the current Oloroso finish, and it's quite different than the rum cask finished as well. It's very difficult for me to actually think of them as the same whiskey. So I've always liked the Pike Creek bottle with the wrap on the top here. If you are in the Edmonton region, or it's probably still around in Alberta, and can get this back from 2017, and you can get it maybe for a good sale, I can't see why you wouldn't try it. This is a good Canadian whiskey. There's little hints of problems. Some of that bitterness can creep up on me now that I've been talking. It's a little bit left over in the finish. And there's a little alcohol in the nose, which I don't know where that's coming from with an old whiskey like this. But having said that, I like it. It's a solid 4 stars. And I would definitely say, if you can find it, I'd go out and try it. Thanks. You guys take care.